This is Northern Light for Thursday, June 11th. Good morning. I'm Monica Sandreski.
And I'm Catherine Wheeler. June primaries are less than 2 weeks away, and we're profiling candidates for a North Country congressional seat. This morning, we'll hear from Robert Smullen, an assemblyman and military veteran from MECO.
We have big issues with our businesses of being competitive because of things like energy costs, insurance costs, the cost of doing business in New York State. So we need to fix those, and I can actually work on those at the federal level.
Also on the show, a husband and wife in Keeseville are serving up free dinners at a local church.
Just having an opportunity to come and gather and be in one space together and share a meal together, like there's something really powerful about that.
And hundreds of people send in their picture-perfect moments to NCPR's Photo of the Day series. We'll hear from a few of our most frequent contributors.
All that's coming up on Northern Light. Stick with us. Support for Northern Light here on North Country Public Radio comes from St. Lawrence Nurseries, Potsdam, providing the North Country with cold, hardy fruit and nut trees for over 100 years. slngrow.com. And from the Glenn and Carol Pearsall Adirondack Foundation, dedicated to improving the quality of life for year-round residents of the Adirondack Park. pearsallfoundation.org. This is Northern Light. I'm Monica Sandreski.
And I'm Catherine Wheeler. The Republican primary for New York's 21st congressional district features a tense campaign between businessman Anthony Constantino and State Assemblyman Robert Smullen. Smullen is a military veteran and has years of experience as an elected official in the North Country.
He's also secured the endorsement of most of the Republican committee chairs in the district. But Smullen is facing a serious challenge from Constantino, who's been endorsed by President Trump and outraised Smullen on the campaign trail. As the New York Public News Network's Pat Bradley reports, has a story for us on Smullen's strategy to win over voters in the 21st Congressional District.
It's a sunny and cool spring morning as members of the Clinton County GOP gather at the Rainbow Banquet Hall in Altona to meet some high-profile state candidates, including 21st Congressional District hopeful Robert Smullen. Anthony Constantino and Smullen have been trading barbs in a vicious primary campaign. The Clinton County GOP has endorsed Smullen, and folks attending this meet and greet reinforced that support. Morrisonville resident Ed Kirby says he 100% supports Smullen.
I've worked with him before, and he's just a great guy, all around solid, and I think he stands for the values that we look for.
My name is Brandon Wahlberg, and I currently reside in Plattsburgh. I am here to support Robert Smullen. He's an individual that I respect. Our committee has endorsed Robert Smullen, and we stand by that.
Robert Smullen has been endorsed by the state Republican Party and 12 of the 15 county GOP committees across the 21st District. Constantino has been endorsed by President Donald Trump, which Clinton County Republican Committee First Vice Chair Jeff Luck said was a mistake as he introduced Smullen to the crowd.
Assemblyman Robert Smullen understands leadership at the highest level. I think everybody here knows that our President Trump clearly got it wrong.
Smullen is outgoing and gregarious as he meets Republican voters. The current 118th Assembly representative sat down in a side room to tell us just who he is.
I'm actually from MECO, which is just outside of the city of Gloversville in Fulton County. That's where I was born and raised. Our family, we were brick masons. We had a hunting camp in the Adirondacks, which we still have today. I always wanted to go into the military. So I graduated from Gloversville High School in 1986, and I went to the Citadel in Charleston, South Carolina, a military college, and I took Naval ROTC, and that's how I got into the Marine Corps. And altogether, I did 4 deployments, 24 years in the Marine Corps, 3 combat tours to Afghanistan.
Smullen traveled the world during his military career and has been to 78 countries.
Upstate New York is a great place to be from. It's a great place to live, to work, to raise a family. And I think that's how I got into politics. When I got out of the Marine Corps in 2015, I had bought a farm. And then when the incumbent in the 118th Assembly District decided to retire, I ran for that office. And I was reelected 3 times unopposed in the 118th Assembly District.
Robert Smullen is now setting his sights on Congress.
I'm from here. I've led Marines in combat. I have worked at the Pentagon. I was a White House fellow. All of those experiences, all of the issues of the day, I've been on the front lines of those. And I've worked very effectively in the state legislature representing the people already. So I know what to do, and I can be effective from day one.
If elected to represent the district, Smullen says his first priorities would focus on Trump administration policies.
The first priorities are to make sure that the Trump agenda that's being implemented right now in many areas of New York State, that would continue. A lot of that has to do with energy. At the federal level, we can bring energy policies into New York that will then help us become more competitive. We have big issues with our businesses of being competitive because of things like energy costs, insurance costs, the cost of doing business in New York State. So we need to fix those, and I can actually work on those at the federal level.
As a Republican, would you at any point push back or oppose any Trump policies that come forward?
Well, I'll certainly be in favor of the policies that the people of this district want and need.
Robert Smullen is a distinguished graduate of the National Defense University Eisenhower School and holds a master's from Georgetown University. He served in the first Trump administration as a member of the Commission on White House Fellowships. New York's primary is Tuesday, June 23rd, and early voting runs from June 13th to June 21st. In New York, only registered Republicans can vote in the upcoming Republican primary. For WAMC and North Country Public Radio, I'm Pat Bradley in Plattsburgh.
NCPR is partnering with WAMC to bring you profiles of the 4 top candidates running to represent the 21st Congressional District. You can find those and all of our election coverage at ncpr.org/election.
The University of Vermont Health Network cut almost 80 positions Tuesday and plans to restructure dozens more. According to a press release, most of these positions were, quote, in areas not providing direct patient care, with targeted clinical changes where necessary. 30 of the affected employees that work at Champlain Valley Physicians Hospital in Plattsburgh and Alice Hyde Medical Center in Malone. The cuts are part of the health network's efforts to address a projected $300 million budget gap over the next 3 years. Network CEO Dr. Stephen Leffler says the goal is to, quote, build a more sustainable system that can continue to serve our communities for years to come.
Meanwhile, River Hospital in Alexandria Bay is starting a weekly clinic for adults who don't have insurance. The clinic will offer free preventative and primary care and chronic illness management. Hospital officials say the goal is to give people access to routine medical care before health problems become emergencies. The hospital will fund the clinic through a donation from Gretchen Scott. It comes as thousands of North Country residents could lose their insurance coverage when changes to Medicaid go into effect next year. North Country hospitals have warned it could have devastating impacts on the region's healthcare systems. Services at the River Community Clinic are available by appointment only for uninsured adults who are age 18 and older. You can call 315-482-1291 to make an appointment. This is NCPR. You're listening to Northern Light from North Country Public Radio. It's 8:11. Good morning. I'm Monica Sandreski.
And I'm Catherine Wheeler. Stick around. We'll hear from some photographers from around the region about why they send in their photos to NCPR's Photo of the Day.
That's coming up in just a few minutes here on Northern Light. But first, let's listen to a little bit more music from Hank Soto out of Stony Creek. Northern Light is supported by Cronin's Golf Resort, a regional destination for golf, dining, and lodging in the southern Adirondacks. Details at croninsgolfresort.com. And from Seacom Credit Union, serving the financial needs of people throughout northern New York and northwestern Vermont. In person, online at seacom.org, and on smartphones.
Across the North Country, many churches host free suppers. Some are for fellowship, and others are to help feed people in need. Today's North Country at Work story takes us to Keeseville, south of Plattsburgh, where one church hosts a pretty exceptional free dinner every Friday. Anna Williams-Bergen has more.
This isn't your typical soup kitchen dinner. Ben Eichenberger, who heads up the cooking, is also a professional chef.
My favorite meal that he's done, he did like a Greek power bowl.
That's Noelle Eichenberger, pastor at Keeseville Good Shepherd Church of the Nazarene and Ben's wife.
We had roasted lamb, and then it had butternut and chickpeas, and then we got some local feta from North Country Creamery and olives, and we served that over saffron rice or turmeric rice. But yeah, it was just like really delicious, like good, hearty food.
The dinner's called Hope Kitchen. It typically serves 70 to 100 people with homemade food and fresh bread every week. Eichenberger says what they cook varies season to season and based on what they've got on hand. Before she and her husband came to Keeseville, they'd run a restaurant together. Then, just after they settled here, the COVID-19 pandemic struck.
It was kind of nice because we didn't get stuck in the, well, we've always done it this way mindset because everything had changed.
As people started coming back together, one congregation member, a retired farmer, suggested they start a free dinner. It was something that she and her husband had always talked about. So many churches have great kitchen spaces, but Eichenberger thinks they're often underused.
You have these quintessential church potlucks and people bring in their crock pots, but if you want to do meals for the community, like, you need to do a little bit more, and there's food safety things, and there's just different processes that you have to kind of go through.
Eichenberger got some grant funding and went to work making those processes happen. They renovated the church's kitchen, got their food safety certification from the state health department. Hope Kitchen opened in November 2024. Today, they've served 6,500 meals and counting.
It's just been one of those things that God's making a way for it to happen. And we've got some really great people in the community that have helped us along the way, too.
The Champlain Valley is bursting with small farms, and Hope Kitchen works with a lot of them to incorporate local food into their cooking. Eichenberger says it's a real focus of what they do, even though it can create some challenges for the chef.
We have a lot of community partners and a lot of farms that they'll send us seconds. And so we'll be like, oh, we have 50 pounds of potatoes to go through and this weird cut of meat. Like, what are we going to make? And he turns it into this really delicious thing.
I asked Eichenberger to describe a typical crowd at one of these dinners, and she says it changes a lot week to week.
We have some families that come pretty regularly with their kids, and then they eat and they're kind of running around like crazy, my child included. Some weeks we have a lot of the local farm community come in.
Eichenberger calls it an eclectic mix of people. She said it's a great way to get to know your neighbors. Everyone needs to eat.
Even the people that come in and they just do takeout, we've built relationships with them, and we've been able to just say like, hey, how are you? How's your cat? Because we know that they love cats, or they have 3 dogs, and we're like, how are your dogs tonight?
Every operation has its challenges. The technical piece is getting enough volunteers to make things happen. But the real issue, Eichenberger says, is that some people don't get why they're doing this.
There's this idea that we're looking for something transactional. I'll say it. If you come to dinner, we want you to have your butt in church on Sunday. If you want to come to church, we would love that. We would love to have people in church, but that's not the goal.
Eichenberger says they want to show people they're loved and they're worthy of a home-cooked meal. They also want to create a place for people to get together, a way to hang out that doesn't cost money. These dinners are free for everyone who wants to show up, not just folks who need the help.
On Sunday mornings, I'll say this is a great week to invite a friend and bring them to dinner, and there's no barrier to entry. And I try to frame it like that because even people who are working full time, everything is expensive. Life is expensive right now. And just having an opportunity to come and gather and be in one space together and share a meal together, like there's something really powerful about that.
Eichenberger says there's power in feeding people. It's something she and her husband really cherish. For North Country Public Radio's North Country at Work project, I'm Anna Williams-Bergen in Keeseville.
This story was recorded at a public story collection event in Keeseville. It's part of North Country at Work, a long-running project of NCPR that collects photos and stories about working life in our region. And we have a special message for you folks in and around Champlain. The North Country at Work team is coming your way today to gather work stories, and they want to hear from you. Come out to the Champlain Memorial Library this afternoon between 3 and 6 p.m. If you live in Moores, Altona, North Hero Island, or Lacolle, Quebec, they want to see you. Stop by for an interview, and you might just hear your story in our North Country at Work series. That's this afternoon from 3 to 6 at the library in Champlain. For more information, go to ncpr.org/calendar or shoot the team an email at work@ncpr.org.
The Saranac Lake Police Department is investigating a suspected swatting incident that happened yesterday. According to a press release, the department got a call shortly before 1 p.m. from someone claiming that a masked man armed with a gun had entered the Village Mercantile on Main Street. The caller said the man had started a fire inside, causing people to flee. Police officers and firefighters responded but found no evidence of that activity. Police say that while they were on the scene, the caller contacted authorities several more times and made comments about their movements. It's believed they may have been monitoring live camera footage from the Hotel Saranac area. Police say there was no active threat to the public and that the incident may have originated from a foreign-based source. The investigation is ongoing, so anyone with information is encouraged to contact the Saranac Lake Police Department at 518-891-4422 or to submit a tip at saranaclakepolice.org.
The head of President Donald Trump's Environmental Protection Agency visited New York's southern tier this week to make the case for a natural gas pipeline. The Constitution Pipeline project failed to get state permits when it was first proposed. As Celia Clark reports for the New York Public News Network, environmentalists want the state to reject the project for good.
EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin came to Binghamton on Monday to urge support for the Constitution Pipeline project. If built, the pipeline would go through the Catskills and Southern Tier to connect with other pipelines near Albany.
I believe stronger now than I ever have in the past that New York should be reversing its ban on the extraction of natural gas.
We're not going back. A couple of hours after Zeldin spoke, over 40 protesters gathered a block away to speak out against fracking and the Constitution Pipeline. One of them is biologist Sandra Steingraber, who was a leader in the anti-fracking movement.
14 years ago, New York State banned fracking on the grounds that fracking imperiled water and human health and that no technology, no rules, no regulations could mitigate the dangers of this form of gas extraction.
Those who gathered believe Zeldin's visit to Binghamton is part of an effort by President Trump and the gas industry to override the will of New Yorkers who in large numbers supported a ban on fracking. In Binghamton, Celia Clark for the New York Public News Network.
This is NCPR.
You're listening to Northern Light here on North Country Public Radio. It's just about 8:22. Good morning. I'm Monica Sandreski.
And I'm Catherine Wheeler. Stick around after the show for Bird Note. It's coming up at 8:42. With our eyes to the skies, sunset in Santa Clara is at 8:25 tonight. And if you can look up, the moon is a waning crescent at 17% of full.
Another hot and muggy day expected today and tomorrow, too, with highs in the 80s to near 90 degrees. For you folks in the Champlain Valley and Glens Falls and Saratoga Springs, the National Weather Service has issued a heat advisory for tomorrow from about lunchtime to about 8 o'clock in the evening. It's a good idea to check on your neighbors who are older or who don't have air conditioning, too, who are more susceptible to the heat. Today, again, we can expect highs into the 80s. At last check, it was 75 degrees in Watertown, 70 degrees in Saranac Lake, 71 in Plattsburgh, 69 degrees in Port Henry, and 22 degrees Celsius in Cornwall, Ontario.
There are endless eye-catching moments in the North Country, from vivid sunsets over a lake and hikers climbing an Adirondack Peak to a bird resting on a branch and cross-country ski tracks through a blanket of fresh snow. For more than 2 decades, NCPR has collected these memories in our Photo of the Day series on our website and social media.
Professional photographers, amateurs, and everyday folks with a phone in hand send in their pictures from all over the North Country. Our Catherine Wheeler rounded up some of our most frequent Photo of the Day contributors to learn more about who they are and why they do it.
When Ed Murphy moved to his home in Vermontville in Franklin County, he knew he had to seize the opportunity.
We moved to the best mountain views you'll ever see in the Adirondacks on Norman Ridge. And that really prompted me to begin photography seriously.
For over 2 decades now, Murphy has been honing his skills on the open skies, dreamy clouds, and unobstructed views of Whiteface, Catamount, and Moose Mountains.
There's so much going on here with clouds and mountains, wildlife, just a whole raft of interesting things, and all of that accessible and waiting to be photographed.
Ed Murphy's work might be familiar to you. He's one of the hundreds of people who have sent in their pictures to NCPR's Photo of the Day. Each weekday, we post a North Country photo on our website and social media that's taken from someone out in the community. Murphy says he's also a fan of the series, too, seeing work from strangers, friends, and neighbors.
In fact, there's a favorite photographer of mine named Ellie George. She lives in Paradox. And she has a picture that's currently being shown online of a saw-whet owl, which is one of these tiny little owls about 9 inches tall, and they're the cutest things in the world.
I was taking the dog for a walk at the Paradox State Campground, and I heard the call of a saw-whet owl, which sounds like a truck backing up. It's like, toot, 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 toot.
That's Ellie George. She's a big fan of Murphy's photos, too. George says after that walk, she returned to the campground with her camera and went looking for the pocket-sized owl.
Eventually, it flew right toward me and landed in a tree right near me, and I was totally thrilled. And I took a whole bunch of photos, and it didn't move. It just looked at me.
George grew up taking photos of her friends and the neighbors' horses after begging her father for a camera. Over the years, and with better equipment, she dove deeper into wildlife photography. She says it helps fulfill the naturalist that's been in her since she was 4 years old. And now that she's retired from teaching biology at Skidmore College, the urge to keep learning takes her all around the Adirondacks with a camera in hand.
I just go with the attitude usually of, let's go see what we can find. And you just never know what's going to be around the next bend of the river or past this bunch of cattails. And look, there's a bittern right behind it. And it's a voyage of discovery.
George says she likes that her photos often inspire connections between people across the North Country.
I especially enjoy when people respond and say, oh, yeah, I saw that last week, or, where did you see that? I'd like to go find it too. Or 2 years ago, this happened to me. And I like when people share their experiences back.
There is more to the North Country than its natural beauty. It's also the people and activities that fill it, like skaters on a frozen river or parade goers at a festival. That's what Lake Placid-based photographer Nancy Battaglia is often searching for.
I like people. I like nature. I like seeing historic places. I like learning when I go out on these adventures. I'm kind of a snow freak. Snow pictures are one of my favorite things to do.
Battaglia is a professional, known for her decades shooting Winter Olympics and major news events. She says she's built a career on getting out there, meeting people, asking them questions, and taking it all in. While she's doing her job, Battaglia says she keeps looking for things that might interest people in the North Country and sends it in for photo of the day.
When I'm out there and I see something and I think it might be, say, newsworthy, or it might be feature-worthy, or it might be odd, or it might just be something that's fun. It caught my eye, and I think it's worth sharing.
Noticing the details is what it's all about for David Zufall.
You don't have to necessarily go on a hike, go to the Adirondacks, just to be out in nature and to see beauty. It could be right in your backyard if you're looking for it.
Zufall takes a lot of his inspiration from his family's dairy farm in Lisbon and St. Lawrence County. His photos usually feature the farm's cuddliest residents: cows, chickens, new lambs, barn cats, and there's also the sunsets or frost on a branch. Zufall says his photos usually come from moments where he slowed down to enjoy the world around him, and he thinks people are looking for something similar.
I've had multiple people come up to me and say, hey, I saw your photograph, and there's just something about it that just brings me so much peace. And I think that's one of the driving factors, for me, to keep taking photos, is hearing this positive feedback and the impact that it's putting on people.
These photographers say they'd love to see more people submit their photos from around the North Country to Photo of the Day. Nancy Battaglia says there's not much to lose.
So all those people that are out there thinking, maybe they don't have a picture worthy, they don't know. You don't know until you try.
Anyone can submit a picture to NCPR's Photo of the Day. We welcome all kinds of images, from the outdoors to artistic shots, and we especially love to see the people and faces of the North Country. Submit your own photos to Photo of the Day at ncpr.org or email your slice of North Country life to photo@ncpr.org. It might just become a future Photo of the Day. Catherine Wheeler, North Country Public Radio.
And don't forget to check out today's Photo of the Day on NCPR's Instagram feed and at ncpr.org/photo. Listener John Beckman of Lake Placid sent in a bright landscape shot on a sunny day on Lake Champlain with a V of geese flying overhead. John, good morning to you, and thank you so much for sending this in. We want to hear from you next. Send your photos in to photo@ncpr.org. and you just might see them featured on NCPR's Instagram feed and in the Photo of the Day. That's it for the show. I'm Monica Sandreski.
And I'm Catherine Wheeler. Be well.